In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do ruler work using the ASR, the Accurate Stitch Regulator, on the Janome CM17. Hi, I'm Jamieson-Hirst of Chatterbox Quilts. The Janome CM17 is the only machine on the market at the time of this filming where you can use a ruler foot with a stitch regulator. So that's really exciting. And for those of you who like to do ruler work, you're going to love the fact that you don't have to worry about your stitch length when you're using this stitch regulator, because it is going to give you even stitches as you go along, right? That's what a stitch regulator does. Now, if you're not familiar with what a stitch regulator is, how it works, how it operates on this machine specifically, you can check out the video either above or in the description below, because I've done one with free motion quilting on this. But today we want to talk about ruler work with the ASR. So let's briefly take a look at the accessory. This is what it looks like. Okay, it's a cord. It's going to plug into the machine. And right now I've got the open toe free motion quilting foot on it, but I can take this off to put on my, not the closed toe foot, but the ruler foot. Okay, how do you tell the difference? Well, the ruler foot is much thicker, as you can see, than the closed toe foot. All right, so make sure you've got the ruler foot for ruler quilting. Let's take this one off. So you just push the black button on the back and this will drop down and you can just slide it right off. And let's get this ruler foot on. So it will just slide back on. You push it until it hits the back. Got to make sure both sides are on there. This is me. It's not that hard to do. Okay, and you just push it up and you heard it click into place. So it's firmly attached. Then you need to attach this to the machine. So you're going to take the cord, the part of the cord here, and you're going to plug it into the back of the machine at the top. And then you are going to attach this, like you would any other foot, to the machine. So I'm going to do that, get it all set up for you, and then we will show you how you use it with some rulers. Now, you always want to make sure that you use a screwdriver to attach any feet you put on your sewing machine. Give it a little bit of a turn so it's firmly attached. So that way it's not going to jiggle off as you go along, right? So we are all attached in here. We're plugging in at the back of the machine. That's great. Now I need to set up the machine to do ruler work. Even if I'm not using a stitch regulator, I have to choose the right settings on the machine so it's going to be able to do the ruler work, right? You need to tell it what to do. So you go to your home screen, you choose the sewing application mode, then you go into the quilt mode and you're going to see ruler work along the top, one of the choices. So you're going to click on ruler work. Now, that's your normal setting for ruler work, but we want to use the ASR, the Accurate Stitch Regulator, right? So on the bottom of that screen, you're going to see that ASR choice, and you're going to push it, and then you're going to see that it changes to the QR. It says here, it looks like what we've got on the machine right now. So I guess we're doing well so far. Okay, so you can, by using the stitch regulator, you will be getting those nice even stitches, and you can tell the machine what length you want that stitch to be. So your default is 2.4 for any of the stitches you want to use on this machine, really, into straight stitches. And you can change that. You can make it a longer stitch or a shorter stitch. And if you're working with really intricate little designs, sometimes a shorter stitch works better, right? Especially if you're doing circular ones to get in, to make sure it looks circular instead of kind of, jagged going around. So I'll leave that up to you. That's your personal choice. But there's also other things you can do with the ASR, and that is set the sensitivity. So there is a warning sound that will come up if you're going too fast with the stitch regulator, and then you need to make an adjustment. If you're going too fast, you need to decrease the sensitivity. If you're going slower and you're having problems and the stitches aren't even, you may need to increase that sensitivity. Or if you're working with some fabrics that have a nap on them, like corduroy or velvet, or even some of those fleece like minky, you might need to change the setting because that optical sensor on the ASR is trying to read the fabric, and sometimes it has problems with it. Or if you have a fabric that's really heavily textured as far as the print on it and stuff, it might be a little confusing for it. So you can make those adjustments. Again, refer to the video that I've done previously to show you those adjustments that you can make. But as with anything, you want to practice, because we want to make sure that we've got the right tension on here and that we're liking the stitch length we've chosen. And you can also adjust the height of that ruler foot. So I may need to go down a little bit if I'm not getting, if my tension's off. Sometimes that's the height of the foot, or if I'm breaking thread, let's say. Let's hope that doesn't happen today, okay? And of course, when I'm doing ruler work, what do I need? I need a ruler. I need a template. So we have a very nice ruler work kit from Janome that has 5 different, 5 or 6, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rulers, plus a crosshair ruler, because sometimes you need to make reference marks on it. There's instructions on how to make make the different designs with the templates in the set. And I just have pulled out a couple here. There's a straight ruler. Straight ruler is always great. When you're first starting off with ruler quilting, you're always going to use a straight ruler somewhere along the line. And I also have this little guy here that is a simple pointed oval. This is a 1.5 by 2. And you notice I've got all these things on here. I've got my stable tape on here because I don't want my ruler to be sliding around, so I can put my hand in there. It keeps the ruler in place. So this is not a tutorial on ruler work, but just to give you a few little tips there. So let's just start off with this straight one. Okay, I'm going to always want to bring up your bobbin thread. Get my ruler out of the way while I'm doing that. There it is there. Okay, and you can lock your stitches. All right, then you want to put your template next to your ruler foot. And remember, because we're using a stitch regulator, the machine is not going to go until I start moving the fabric, okay? It takes a bit getting used to it first, especially if you're used to doing it without one, but we'll move along. Okay, so that's pretty good because I'm not hearing any noise, okay? Because there's an overspeed warning on this, okay? I'm just going to grab one of my little palm paddles here to move along here to grip my fabric. Okay, here we go. There we go. Did you hear the little beep? Okay. Okay, so that's saying to me, you're moving the fabric faster. I can't keep up. My stitches may not be even, but let's just take a look and see how it's doing so far. Okay, so you can see at the beginning here, okay, that it was doing pretty good. It looked like it was doing pretty good. Those stitches look pretty even to me. But then I noticed down here, there's one that's, some of these are a bit longer, I think, coming off a little bit of that stitch length because I was going too fast, okay? So if I'm going too fast, that's when I need to adjust the sensitivity on the ASR. I'm going too fast, I need to decrease my sensitivity or slow down, okay? I can do either, right? So let's just see what happens. I'm just going to change my stitch length here. I was at 2.4, I'm going to go up to 3, okay? And I want to just see what happens when I do that, okay? So I'm going to raise my bobbin thread up here. And you know, I'm using my thread cutter, so my bobbin thread's very small, but you could pull it out longer if you wanted to, if you like to bury your threads. Okay, lock our threads off first. Okay, and then we're going to see how we do now with a longer stitch length. Oh, a little bit there. But for the most part, it's fairly happy with me. You know, it's me, not the machine, right? Okay, so you need to learn how to work together with the stitch regulator. You can't just sit down and, you know, start going like crazy and expect it's going to give you good results, okay? You need to match your speed to the optical sensor that reads the speed of your fabric, okay? Because you can overrun a stitch regulator, and that's when you hear the beep, beep, beep going off. That's saying you're going too fast. I can't keep up. I can't give you those accurate and precise and even stitches that you want. But this is looking pretty darn good, I would say. That looks pretty nice. So if you don't have to worry about your stitch length, it makes it a lot easier to focus on the design you're creating with your rulers, right? So using the ASR on this machine is a really huge help. Everybody's always concerned about getting those nice even stitches when they're quilting, whether it's free motion or ruler quilting. Well, using the ASR on the Janome CM17 will give you that. All right, so something else I just wanted to mention here, and I pointed this out in the other video as well, is that you can use the machine a couple different ways. We know we have a foot pedal, and that's typically what we're using. And when I lift my foot off the foot pedal, the stitching stops, right? And my needle, I have it set to stop in the fabric, so it just stops. However, you can disconnect the foot pedal and use the start-stop button on the machine. And this gives you a little bit of a different result. It gives you what we call like a cruise mode, and you may want to use this sometimes. So I just want to show you how that works. So if I disconnect the foot pedal, and I'm just going to bring up my bobbin thread here again. Okay, and put it down. Let me grab my straight ruler again. By the way, this is a high shank machine. These are high shank rulers I'm using, okay, in case you're wondering. And now I've got to use the start stop button, okay, which is a little awkward for me, I will tell you that. But when I push that, what's going to happen is it's going to get ready to start, and that needle is just going up and down if I'm not moving. Let's start moving. Okay, that needle keeps moving until I push that start stop button again, okay? So this is like a cruise mode, okay? So it's going to give you that nice, even, slow up and down motion with the needle. That can be helpful when you're turning sharp corners, sharp points, that type of thing, to give you a couple extra stitches before you move on. So sometimes you may want to use that. You may just prefer to use the start stop button than the foot. Some people will prefer to do that too. And so here's my results there. Okay, again, hopefully you can see that. Again, that's giving you a really nice, even stitch length for every stitch. So it gives you some really nice results. And of course, when you're doing ruler work, you have all those precise designs too. So having that stitch length even just gives you a beautiful, beautiful result. So if you are interested in doing ruler work and you want your stitches to be nice and even, all the same length, you can get that with the ASR and the ruler foot on the Janome CM17. Now, you may be wondering what other information I have on the Janome CM17 and how to use that ASR. Don't worry, I got you covered. Check out this video I've included just for you. And for more helpful quilting information, be sure to go to my website at www.chatterboxquilts.com.